Welcome to the Prophecy Club. We're going to continue listening to Bill Schnoebelen. Bill is the author of 8 books. He was a Satanic and Voodoo high priest, a second-degree member of the Church of Satan, a New Age guru, an occultist, a channeler, a 90th-degree Mason, a Knight Templar, a member of the Illuminati. He taught astrology, tarot cards, astral projection, and so you say he's a Christian? Yep, Jesus got a hold of him, he's a Christian. Now, before we go in to listen to him, I have some real important and exciting news to share with you. We've been waiting to be able to share this with you for a long time. WatchProphecyClub.com is now live. As you may have heard, the internet is not a reliable place to build a Christian ministry. Many have been closed down for some ridiculous reasons, which many believe was actually discrimination because they were a Christian ministry. Now, we've all known that the day would one day come when Prophecy Club's information, whether it's audio, video, or website, is all going to be pulled from the internet. You certainly don't think that the Antichrist is going to let us stay up there, do you? Well, we can't spend years building a Christian ministry to be left in the hands of the devil, only to have it pulled or killed to their discretion. So, here's what we're doing. We're in the process of pulling all Prophecy Club recordings from the internet, every place. Now, I'm talking about video recording. We'll leave the audio recordings out there. To build a continuous source for people to be able to continually access our videos so that they can't be turned off, we have now launched WatchProphecyClub.com, brand new site. It is a program to allow you to watch Prophecy Club titles without interruptions or commercials. Currently, it has 160 of our titles up on it, more adding every day. Eventually, it'll have over 300 titles. Would you give a monthly gift of $100 a month to watch over 300 titles? That's over $10,000 worth of Prophecy Club titles if you were to buy them all individually. Would you give a monthly gift of $100 to be able to watch them anytime you like? Well, my son and I discussed this for a long time, and we've decided to do something crazy, to offer a crazy low introductory rate, not $100. Would you give $50 a month to watch any Prophecy Club title anytime on any device? That's right, computer or your cell phone or your tablet or whatever it might be. Well, we've done even better than that. The introductory rate that we decided to offer for a limited time is a ridiculously low gift of only $20 a month recurring monthly subscription. Now, yes, we do expect the rate to rise. We don't know exactly when that's going to happen. However, you can also get a 1-year subscription of $200, which recurs yearly. And none of this has a contract you can cancel anytime you want. But, of course, your best deal is to get a yearly subscription. That way, it'll lock in a rate. Even when we go up, your rates will stay the same. It's WatchProphecyClub.com. Let me say this again. A gift of $20 a month, recurring monthly subscription, allows you access to over 300 Prophecy Club titles on any device, anytime you want. Only $20 a month to access all of them? Yes. Some 24 years of DVDs, videotapes, all recording, now available, WatchProphecyClub.com. Yes, the software company is continuing to work on building Watchman'sTrumpet.com, which will be a video email program. Here's the way it works. You go in and you pre-purchase credits, and then you email gift viewings of Prophecy Club titles to your friends. Yes, you can go ahead and send them to WatchProphecyClub.com now, but I guess I don't have to tell you that trying to get someone to watch a Prophecy Club recording is sometimes not so easy, especially for some of your skeptical friends. So getting them to watch where you paid in advance for a recording and asking them to watch it is going to increase the likelihood of them watching it. Well, again, that's Watchman'sTrumpet.com, which is still coming. It's still in the process of being made. Now, we're not certain if WatchProphecyClub.com and Watchman'sTrumpet.com websites will merge or not, or operate as two separate sites. But for now, the best deal on the planet is $20 a month or $200 a year to lock your rate in to access up to 300 Prophecy Club titles anytime on any device. Best deal going. This is going to allow people around the globe. No longer do you have to wait for DVDs. You don't have to wait for them right now. $20 a month. You can go in there anytime you want. And of course, you can cancel anytime you want. But best deal, sign up for that 1 year access, $200. That way you lock in, even if we go up, and we will be going up, but if we go up, your rate is going to be locked in. WatchProphecyClub.com is now live. You can log on and begin watching now. Over 160 titles with more being added every day. We expect probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have over 300 titles added up there. WatchProphecyClub.com, and you can watch this on any of your devices. It's amazing. I think it's the best deal we've ever offered, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it. WatchProphecyClub.com. Now, at the end of the program, I'm not going to be offering, hey, you can get this or that for some great gift offer. I don't have to anymore. Now, yes, if you want the discs, you can still call or go online and order discs. But I think most people are going to just simply, Prophecy Club is a club, okay? About time we start asking people to join the Prophecy Club. So join the Prophecy Club. Go to WatchProphecyClub.com. $20 a month. Access to 24 years of Prophecy Club titles. Guys, it's amazing. It doesn't get any better than this. Think of all of those DVDs. A lot of them that you probably never even heard of. You've never seen them. I mean, how many people have seen all 300 Prophecy Club titles? Probably nobody. But now you can access them on your computer or on your cell phone or your iPad all the time. Give to $20 a month or $200 a year. Again, that's what the access fee is right now. But, of course, it's probably going to go up. Right now, best deal, WatchProphecyClub.com. WatchProphecyClub.com. And, yes, we're still asking for donations for Watchman'sTrumpet.com. As a matter of fact, it is the first of the month, and I need to send off another $5,000 check. Actually, I really need to send him about a $20,000 check because he needs $90,000 before he will let Watchman's Trumpet go live. However, right now, you can join WatchProphecyClub.com. If you want to give to Watchman'sTrumpet.com, and I certainly recommend you do that, then if you'll let us know that's for Watchman's Trumpet, and or if you will put a 7 as the last digit in your gift, then we will know. That one's for Watchman's Trumpet, and right now you're going to get double credit for the credits when Watchman's Trumpet comes online. In other words, you give about $1,000 gift or more, and you're going to have unlimited emailing. In other words, not only are you going to be able to watch Prophecy Club videos anytime you want, but you will be able to email unlimited numbers of those to all of your friends, not just across America, but around the globe. You're going to be able to send people in like Australia, say, hey, buddy, I watched this DVD. I bought this for you. Go ahead and click right here and watch it. And they can watch your choice, or you can give them a choice of, at least this is what we plan, several or maybe even all. You can go watch any of them, and it comes, in other words, you paid for it. It's your credits in advance. Now, it's not much. It's probably going to be $1 or $2 per viewing, not much. But when they discover that you paid for it, it's a gift, it increases the likelihood that they'll actually watch it rather than just sending them, well, hey, man, go check this out. Or you can still send them to WatchProphecyClub.com. WatchProphecyClub.com, gift of $20 a month recurring monthly subscription, or $200 a year yearly recurring subscription. WatchProphecyClub.com. It's online for the first time today, May 1st, Illuminati Day. I think that's kind of good. I think that's cool. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go on over and now listen to all the information about the Illuminati, we're going to go listen to one of the most popular of all recordings, Exposing the Illuminati from Within by Bill Schnoebelen.
An epileptic, he actually had a grand mal seizure that night. It had hit his nervous system that violently. And it kind of scared me, and I thought, well, gee, maybe I should do something with this Catholic thing. I kind of put the whole Catholic scene aside. Well, as it happens, I heard through a friend of mine who ran an occult bookstore that there was an old Roman Catholic church in town. Now, probably none of you even heard of the old Roman Catholic Church. But what it is, it's a branch of the Church of Utrecht in Holland, which was cut away from the Vatican by various Protestant Catholic divisions back in the 1700s. And so this has existed as a whole separate parallel church to the Catholic Church. The only difference is one, they allow a married clergy, two, they say the Mass in the vernacular, and three, they do not accept the last two councils, in other words, Vatican I or Vatican II. So this fellow was willing to ordain me, get me ordained to the priesthood, in exchange for me ordaining him a witch priest. So he kind of, swapped initiations. So this is a picture of me. This is actually during the ordination ceremony this is in St. Paul's Church, Old Catholic Church in Joliet, Illinois. There's my certificate, June 5th, 1976. I already explained about the Roman Rite of Utrecht. This is another shot of the same thing where I'm kneeling. The bishop there is about to lay hands on me. Notice his little Dagon fish hat that he's wearing. That's very important. Okay, so, and all this, you see, it was like I was gathering power. This is how I looked at it. Because, see, this druid guy had explained to me that there's all these different currents of occult power. And I explain all this in my book, Lucifer Dethroned, but like for all of the, you have the 13 members of Jesus' coven, right? And each one of those apostles had a certain current of power that went out from him. Like, for example, the Johannine current of power was the Freemasons. The Petrine current for Peter was the Roman Church, and so on and so on and so on. And so it was like I was going around picking up these things, sort of like, hash marks on my spiritual aura or whatever. So that's what I was doing. I wasn't just being, people might think, well, what kind of a wacko person is a witch and goes and is ordained a Catholic priest? Well, it's not as strange as you think, and we'll explore more about that later. Anyhow, once I'd gone this far, another thing happened. This same friend who stood up at my wedding as my best man, he owned this occult bookstore in Milwaukee I referred to, and he said, one day he came up to me and he says, you really ought to read this book. And he handed me a copy of the Satanic Bible. Now, if you talk to anybody who's a white witch, they'll say, oh, witches aren't Satanists. Witches don't believe in Satan. We worship nature. We're out skipping through the woods, gathering herbs and worshiping the gentle goddess and the great God. Tra-la-la. So, this was sort of odd because this guy was supposedly a Wiccan. But he said, this guy has some good ideas. So I read the book and I found out that indeed Anton LaVey, who wrote the Satanic Bible, the guy who was the head of the Church of Satan for many years, that he did have some interesting ideas. And you see, this is how it works. Once you set your foot in this direction, you get more deceived, it's not like I woke up, one morning when I was a high school kid and said, I want to worship the devil. It was a gradual process. And especially when you understand that the Church of Satan doesn't worship the devil. How many of you realize that? The Church of Satan does not worship the devil. They just view the devil as a symbol, as an archetype. Now, there are, of course, Satanists that do worship the devil, but that's why basically we call the Church of Satan comic opera Satanism, because it's really not that serious a thing. Not that it's not dangerous, but compared to other forms of Satanism, it's not that dangerous. So I went through the first degree of the Church of Satan, and then made it all the way up to second degree. You'll notice there, that's my certificate. I was made a warlock in the Church of Satan. You'll notice there down at the bottom is Anton LaVey's autograph. I have the dubious distinction of having his autograph. I want to note that in the last paragraph, it says, the Church of Satan, having passed before the Council of Nine, order of the trapezoid, by all the powers of hell, so it is done. That's kind of like saying amen. Well, notice that order of the trapezoid, because that's going to be important later. This is what set me on what occultists call the left-hand path. And from then on, I was both pursuing Masonry and many other things, and still doing the Catholic priest thing, but I was also doing the satanic thing. Now you might think, how could anybody do that at the same time? Well, you've got to realize, first of all, once you get past the basic Satanism of Anton LaVey's church, you discover that in order to be a practicing satanic priest, you first of all have to be a Catholic priest. Do you realize that? Now, this is not intended as a slam on Catholicism, although there's certainly a talk there somewhere. But the problem is that, you see, the classical black mass, les messes noires in the French, is a ritual that's an inversion of the Catholic ceremony, the Catholic liturgy that you've all probably seen pictures of if you've not actually attended one. And except they have the cross upside down, the priest wears dark vestments, and they have a naked woman on the altar. And what they do is they believe that the host is really the body of Jesus. And so they abuse this host. They stomp on it, they urinate on it, they do things I won't even describe to it, and they believe by doing that they're torturing Jesus. Now this is bizarre, I know, but this is what they believe. And so it's really handy if you can have a priest there to do his hocus pocus. Now how many of you realize the word hocus pocus comes from the Latin Mass? Did you know that? It was a thing that Protestants came up with to make fun of Catholics, because the words in Latin, the priest picks up the host, and he says, "For this is my body." And what that is Latin is hoc est enim corpus meum. So it's like hocus pocus. And the idea that you say this as a priest, and poof, this piece of bread turns into the body of Jesus. Body, blood, soul, and divinity. And ditto with the wine. So anyway, then if you were actually a Catholic priest who was also a satanic priest, you could do the satanic mass, have the host right there, and you could abuse it to your heart's content, and thereby thinking you were somehow insulting, Jesus Christ up in heaven. So it's not as bizarre as you think. If you look at the history of Satanism, most of the prominent Satanists were also Catholic priests or Catholic bishops. I'll just name two. Aleister Crowley, some of you may have heard of him. He was consecrated a bishop in the old Roman Church, and also Anton LaVey. Believe it or not, he ended up doing the same thing I did. He got a Greek Orthodox bishop, who shall remain nameless, to consecrate him a bishop in return for him making the Greek Orthodox bishop a priest of Satan. So it gets kind of fuzzy here, folks. Now here you see me in my ceremonial magical garb. I was involved in all sorts of high-level magic, including thalamic magic, which means magic that's based on the works of Aleister Crowley, who was the most prominent black magician of the last century, and Enochian magic, which has nothing to do with like Enoch in the Bible. It's a very complicated thing that was brought forth by Dr. John Dee, who was the original 007. Have you heard of Dr. John Dee? He was Queen Elizabeth I. This is way back 400 years ago. Queen Elizabeth's premier spy. And he was also a high-level occultist, an alchemist, and a ceremonial magician. And she would send him into Europe to spy on different countries, and he would send missives back, and he'd always sign his name 007. That was his little code designation. That's where Ian Fleming got the thing for James Bond. So anyhow, see all this interesting trivia you're picking up here? Anyway, at this time I was also a member of the Brotherhood. And that's hardcore Satanism. See, if you think of it like this, you could think of the Church of Satan as kind of like marijuana, and hardcore Satanism is like cocaine or acid or heroin or something. So it's like a gateway into deeper, darker levels of the occult. And along the way, I had to sign my name in the black book. I had to sell my soul to the devil. I didn't know the devil already had my soul. But, I made a pact. And the pact was that for 7 years, I would serve Satan faithfully, that he would have me body, soul, and spirit. He would give me anything I requested, wine, women, song, drugs, power, whatever I wanted I could have. In exchange for that, at the end of 7 years, he'd get to kill me and take me to hell. What a deal. How many of you want to sign up? You got to realize, Satanists are taught that there's this kind of, I don't know if you've heard of the philosopher Nietzsche, but Nietzsche taught that Christians were like slave mentality, and that the true masters were the Ubermen, the supermen. And so the idea was that Christians were all losers. They would go to heaven, which is boring because you sit around all day and twang on a harp while sitting on a cloud and saying, oh, you're so great, oh, you're so wonderful, you know, and it's boring. That's what we were told. Whereas if you go to hell, it's like sex, drugs, rock and roll, day and night for all eternity. You get to party hardy for all eternity. And so the masters go to hell. The slaves go to heaven. The wolves go to hell. The sheep go to heaven. That's the way we looked at it. In fact, I was taught at one point, think of it this way. What's the greatest thing a Christian can do for the Lord? Think about it. To be a martyr. To give your life for the faith. Because the word martyr means witness. That's what it literally means in Greek. And at the same time, this Satanist leader said to me, what's the greatest thing a Satanist can do? Is kill a Christian. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, just like the wolf kills the sheep. So the Satanist kills the Christian. And the Christian gets his great blessings, and the Satanist gets his great blessings. It's a win-win situation. Now you see how twisted all this is? You see, but there's enough truth in it to sell it. Anyway, I got more and more into these things, very, very strange stuff going on. At one point, I'd gone through different levels of initiation in ceremonial magic, and I'd done some very powerful rituals, and I had this experience. I had happened to go home to visit, because this time we were living in Milwaukee, and I had gone home to visit my folks who lived in a little farm town in Iowa, and I was staying in my old bedroom, and for some reason Sharon hadn't come with me. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was lifted out of my bed, carried through the roof of my bedroom, and I was sailing through the sky, through the stars, to the moons of Saturn. Now, that's pretty weird. And mind you, I was not on any drugs at this point. No funny cigarettes or recreational vegetables whatsoever. And I ended up landing on this moon of Saturn, and there was this obscenely bizarre-looking temple there. It was all totally black, totally out of whack. The angles were all wrong, spikes sticking out of it. It looked like a loathsome, diseased kind of black thing crouching on the plains of this moon. And I was told to go in, and I went inside, and there was this gentleman there who was my occult mentor, and he was wearing a white robe, and he kind of glowed in the dark like Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars movies, you know. Well, anyhow, he says, welcome to the Cathedral of Pain. Now, somehow that didn't sound very good to me, but what could I do? I was out in the middle of outer space, you know. And so I walk into this thing, and it's an enormous thing like a cathedral, just huge, except instead of stained glass windows along the walls, there was these, imagine like giant aquariums, floor-to-ceiling aquariums, full of some kind of fluid in this green light bathing them. And except instead of pictures or whatever, floating in these two aquariums on both sides of the room were countless naked dead bodies. Mutilated, horrible looking, you know, just floating there, including dead babies, dead children, dead adults, the whole bit. And I was just getting horrible feelings about this. There was this altar which was shaped like a trapezoid made out of girders in the middle of the room, and there was this huge throne made out of steel girders in the far side of this cathedral, kind of like if you were in like a Anglican or Catholic church, you know, in the rear. Well, what happened was I was told to lay down on this altar, and they tied me to this altar, and this is all happening in this dream. Was it a dream? I don't know. What happens? All these people come out in black robes, and they start chanting, and for some reason they're chanting in French. And for some reason I understand French, even though I don't. And they're saying all these blasphemous things against the Almighty, which I won't even repeat, just cursing over and over again. And it's like they're trying to raise a level of power. And all of a sudden this figure materializes on this throne in the rear of this huge cathedral. And it's this giant ghastly figure, probably 25, 30 feet high. And it's like scintillating back and forth between this gorgeous looking man with long flowing hair to becoming like a winged bull, to becoming like a goat with wings and a human body. And it would go back and forth, like scintillating. So at the end, this thing gets up off the throne, and the chanting is getting more and more fierce and more frenzied. And he comes down, and every time he steps, the whole floor shakes. And he comes up to where I'm laying on this altar, and he has this vast hand that's like, 4 feet long, from thumb to finger, and talons. And he takes this finger, and he pokes it right through my forehead, like this talon. And it like sears into my brain, and I feel this energy just burning my brain with white hot pain. And he said in this cavernous, sepulchral Darth Vader type voice, "Now you belong to me, body, soul, and spirit forever." And my brain like exploded at that point, and I felt myself hurtling back to earth in a fireball. And I landed in the backyard of my parents' house. I'm laying there stark naked in the middle of this burning circle of fire on the lawn. And I had a scar on my forehead, which is still faintly visible to this day, 20 years later. And it was like, whoa, what happened here? And I kind of staggered back into the house. I had the mother of all headaches, and I didn't know what to make of it. But from then on, that was my Luciferian initiation, even though I didn't know it at the time. Soon after that, I was invited to join the Illuminati. Now, what's the Illuminati? Well, we're going to talk about it a lot tonight, but basically it's the mother of all conspiracies. And it means literally a society of illuminated men and women who have received the light of Lucifer. Because remember, Lucifer means the light bearer, right? So anyway, I was walking around in this state of white fog in my brain, and I was getting more and more tempted to do evil things, more and more. It was like whatever vestige of humanity was gradually being eaten away by this cancer of evil. So then I got to the point of what's called the abyss in high-level magic, where you have to cross the abyss, and then you transcend good and evil, and you're on the final approach to becoming a living God. And in order to do that, I had to make a choice. In the system of magic I was working, I had 2 choices. I could either be a werewolf or a vampire. Now, a lot of you might think, this guy been, eating too many stale pizzas or what? But no, I had to make that choice. And I knew people who'd been into lycanthropy, which is the technical medical term for being a werewolf, and I knew it hurt a lot. Think about it. Your nose starts growing out, and you grow like 2 feet taller, and this and that and the other thing. So it's not very fun. Plus the stuff you have.
And unfortunately, I've got to break in right there, but I do encourage you, go to watchprophecyclub.com. It's now live. Watchprophecyclub.com. You can sign up, $20 a month, recurring monthly subscription, and watch now over 160 titles, and within a few weeks, over 300 different Prophecy Club titles. All for a gift of $20 a month or $20 a year. Yes, we do know that the gift amount is going to be increasing, but you can lock it in by going ahead and getting a 1-year gift of $200, recurring yearly subscription, and lock in the amount. You can watch all of the Prophecy Club DVDs, 160 titles now, eventually to 300 here in the next few weeks. All of them, anytime you want, for a gift as low as $20 a month. Yes, it's going to go up, but at least $20 a month. That's the introductory offer, or $200 a year recurring yearly subscription. WatchProphecyClub.com. WatchProphecyClub.com. I think it is the best deal I've ever seen. Yes, we're still looking for gifts to help us get Watchman's Trumpet online. That's a different video email program. But right now, WatchProphecyClub.com is live online. You can immediately start watching for a gift of $20 or more. Oh, by the way, you can cancel within 3 days, or actually you can cancel anytime you want to. $20 a month, recurring monthly subscription. Now watch over 160 titles, eventually over 300 Prophecy Club titles. Wow, what a deal. WatchProphecyClub.com. WatchProphecyClub.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless.